Got a lot of sharks out there trying to take a bite of something. Was hot. A lot of chameleons out there.
Guys, welcome to Edgy Side, and now we're gonna cover Moon Knight. Number one, Warren Ellis and
Declan
Shalvey, and what's her name? Jordi Belair,
Right.
the colorist. Yeah. So this is like, I don't know, the nth number one for Moon Knight. I don't know. I think he's gone through like 9 different volumes already.
It's probably around that number.
I mean, the last one I really remember was the one of
David
Finch, of course, and Charlie Houston at the time. Then after that, that series got canceled.
Yeah.
Then after that was like, who was it?
It's not Lionel
No. What's his name? Jerome
Opena.
Opena.
Okay.
There you go. And then he did some, this writer, I can't even remember his name.
Right.
And then he did the Brian Bendis. Brian Bendis took over. And that was another number one with Alex Malin.
Right.
So he's really gone through a lot. People really, for some reason, he's like the Marvel version of Batman. That's how he looks.
It's him and Daredevil, basically, the
Yeah.
Marvel versions of Batman.
Right,
For
right.
one reason or another.
Yeah.
But he's got such a convoluted history. He's got such a convoluted story that it's like every time you go through a number one with Moon Knight, you have to explain everything.
Right.
And it gets in the way sometimes of just telling a good story.
Okay.
You know,
Is that how you felt with this one?
no, with this one, because I of course I'm familiar with Moon Knight, also with all the
Yeah.
Khonshu and the split personality stuff.
Right.
Inevitably, you're gonna have to go through that because it's become part of his story. It's become part of what makes Moon Knight compelling.
Yeah, it makes him distinct
Yeah,
from Batman.
yeah. And I think that the good part here is that they embrace. Okay, that cover is cool. That cover is cool.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is
It's an awesome cover.
the eyes and the crescent moon. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I think him embracing just putting on that white suit.
Yeah, it's just badass. It's just
That-
cool.
come
I
on.
posted this a couple of weeks ago. You can hear "Staying Alive."
Yeah,
In the background.
It's like he's walking around
Strutting.
with Bee Gees. Yeah. The stark thing about that white suit in comparison to everything else,
Yeah.
it makes him stand out. I mean, he's not wearing the classic Moon Knight outfit here.
Yeah.
With the whole
Yep.
big crest.
Actually, that look started from Secret Avengers when he was part of the Avengers team.
Okay.
So Warren Ellis took it, transferred it over here because
Yeah.
Warren Ellis did a Secret Avengers for a while as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So here it's interesting because they talk about the split personality. They talk about the history of the Khonshu thing, but at the same time, part of it is like him being a crime scene investigator.
Right.
CSI.
Very CSI. Very
And
CSI.
he ends up going through the sewers, and with that white suit in
Yeah,
the sewers,
yeah.
it's very different.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting concept to say the least. I mean, I love how David Finch made Moon Knight look powerful.
Yeah, it was very striking. It's like on the same level as Spawn almost. It resembled that.
Yeah, I think it's part of the reason why Finch was able to finagle a Batman job in DC.
Right.
Because he drew a really good Moon Knight.
Yeah, he proceeded doing Batman. There
Yeah,
too,
he did.
right?
Yeah. So visually, it's great. The story is interesting, at least with this first issue. I mean, you don't know where it's going,
Right.
which makes you want to come back for more.
Yeah.
honestly.
I mean, I like the whole idea that it's their. They try to like differentiate it from Batman. Batman's all about stealth.
Right.
Here, he wears this costume. It's all white.
And then they ask him, why?
Yeah.
Everybody sees you.
Because I want to see them coming.
Yeah.
See me coming. So that's kind of cool, right?
Yep.
I like the whole idea that the police captain here, the policeman is like, no, we don't refer him as Moon Knight.
He's Mr. Knight.
He's Mr. Knight, because if I refer him as Moon Knight, that's admitting that he's a vigilante.
Yeah.
So, and we can't deal with vigilantes. So
Yeah.
it's a cool concept.
Yeah, it's different.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's not hard. I mean, they really catch you up here with the whole history with Moon Knight, so you're not completely lost.
Yeah.
And like you said, it becomes a procedural, so it's just one case done in one. The main story here is resolved.
Yeah.
Right away.
Yeah, but the subplot is left there hanging a
Yeah.
bit to make you come back for
Right.
more.
And even the main plot is kind of twisted. And the bad guy here is kind of one note,
Yeah.
but he's twisted in a way. He's
Yeah.
a serial killer who looks for bodybuilders.
Yeah.
You know, looking for body parts.
Yeah.
You know, and he's a former Shield agent. So you feel that touch that it's connected to the Marvel universe.
Right.
So that was cool. And then the revelation at the end, where Warren Ellis is trying to integrate the past histories of Moon Knight, and trying to make some sense into it.
Yeah.
That worked too.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's where you leave it, and the cliffhanger's there. So I think that's like, like you said, it draws you in.
Yeah.
For me, I'm gonna stick it out here. The problem with Warren Ellis is that he tends to like either within 6 months or 12 issues he's out.
Yeah.
You know, he never like stays there consistently.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But in a way, it's smart because he goes big, and then when he realizes I got no more stories to tell,
I'm out of here.
I'm out.
Yeah.
You know, he did that with Thunderbolts. He did that with Next Wave.
Yeah.
So, I hope we get a promising run here from him. And the art, art is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's not David Finch art, but that's not such a bad thing.
No,
it
it's not.
works.
Yeah.
It works.
You know, it's
you know,
very. How do you put it? It's like the art is very indie style. You know, the style is indie.
Yeah, no.
You know, it's the same aesthetic you see now in Hawkeye now.
Yes.
Right? And
Yes.
Superior Force of Spider-Man.
It's very Hawkeye.
You know, this has become the house style of Marvel, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a really cool scene there where like, I defeated you 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, but we won't go
We
there.
won't go there. We won't go there. I just thought it was a very Watchmen thing to say.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna give this right now. Yeah, that's messed up. So for me, this sounds promising. I'm giving this a B plus.
You know, I thought this was great comics.
Did we? No, we know. Oh, sorry. Okay, for me, it's not a B plus. I'm gonna give this a shot. As long as Warren Ellis is still here, I'm gonna read. There you go. You? What's your?
I think it's interesting. I mean, you hope that it'll stick this time.
Yeah.
You hope the character sticks and gets a decent run because before this past year, Hawkeye had a bunch of volumes too. Before it finally stuck.
I mean, how many more?
And Aquaman had this thing, had this problem until finally a good writer, finally a good artist. So you hope that it'll stick around.
Yeah, because how many more number ones on the same character can you do? I mean, until it comes to a case where you're beating a dead horse.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, it's time to like give up with the ghost.
Yeah,
of the character.
just stick him on a team. That's the only way you're gonna see him.
Sadly,
Yeah.
I hope they're successful.
Yeah.
So if you got the cash, worth it. Go for it.